Hello, friend. Today I'm bringing you a class or a tutorial video about one of the feature apps of Azure portal. It's called Logic app, and as you know, because when it comes to integration across multiple services, there is no better than the Logic app. My personal preferences here, and so that's why we're gonna go to add Logic app in here and have a multiple portal open. So I searched the name Logic app and it did came up here, as you can see. So Logic apps, you can use it in your project to speed up the developments of your project. So Logic App Service, it's a service that allow you within your project to schedule, automate, and orchestrate the tasks in here. So in fact, in this case, you're creating a flow of information between your ETL and blob and SharePoint and your email with your development projects in here. So there's a lot of scenarios you'd like to automate, and of course, Logic App will allow you to do and perform that in here. Um, and as always, Logic Apps is always about action, followed by action and actions here. This is the way it does performed. And when we speak about action, as you know, every action has like input and output here. Every actions comes in and then out. That's the way I can summarize it for you. Input and output. I'm going to illustrate that later and by adding that in the Azure portal. And just an example of the input actions, it will be a person or human, and then the output is going to be uh, the quality or specification of that person or human is an age, name, her measurements, and color of the hair and eyes and such. That's the output. And in this case, after you input the part of the input and output, the first actions on the Logic app is called trigger, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit. And triggers are a specific action that invokes the entire flow in here. And trigger can be called by multiple sources, by maybe by a web trigger, maybe a schedule-based trigger, or it could be an Office 365 as possible, or just a blob storage trigger in here, or maybe other things, because there's a lot of connectors, or maybe over 200 connectors that will be used during the integrations here. So right now, after the explanations, I'm going to go ahead and create on it. And as always, I can create a resource group. I explained to you, resource group is a container. It's very important to separate and organize your work the proper way, either by editing or adding, deleting things to your infrastructure environment by creating a resource group. So um, RG can put it logic app RG as a for resource group here, and I can call it demo. Um, uh, okay, I can call it demo one. and take it properly here. Select the region. That's what I'm selecting all the time. I would leave it. As you can see, I already created the .azure website.net. It's going to be like an access, like through web triggers. That's what we were talking about a few minutes prior. And also for the logic app name, I can add it beside the .NET. I can put HTTP here, and because that's the demo we are going to be doing. And for HTTP, and it's totally up to you. Just gonna demonstrate that you have the options of doing so, but I would leave it the way it's been created that I did. For plan type, I will leave it for standard because this is as I have a free account in here, as I explained it to you, and published through workflow by default it is, and I need it to be in the East region. And for plan type, I'll leave it as a standard. As again, this is just a demonstration as to how to perform that. Pricing has already been selected for me. I don't need any redundancy as of now. This is just the demonstrations for you. And for hosting, I'm not gonna add anything in here. I don't have even the networking. I would leave that the way it was defaulted to for monitoring. Again, if this is a real environment, you can select those options here, and you can have it set up. And as you can see, says here Azure Monitor Application Insight is an application performance management APM services for developer. I did some video about the triggers and monitorings, but this is different. The purpose of the Logic app is how to create it and set up actually the process. So next we're going to go to tags, and as always, if you have a large environments corporate, which I do, and you need to organize your work in a proper way that you can have multiple environments, infrastructures, and multiple things going on. You have to have something like tags, so you can distinguish work and the projects in here, and which I don't. And next, you're gonna do a review and create, and then we're gonna go ahead and after you check everything here, and we're gonna go on creating the Logic app, and it's gonna go for provisioning process, as you can see here, initializing, submitting deployments, and it's in progress right here, as you can see. And deployment was succeeded. As in this procedure, we can go to the resources, and this is the demo Logic app that I have created. And as you can see, it has the URL, the HTTP, and the one I showed you, the demo one Logic app that Azure websites.net, and this is an operating system based on Windows, and the app service plan is here. And if you want to see more properties, that and it's everything will be shown in here for you. And the next things we're gonna do is creating we call workflow. As you can see here, we're gonna be adding a name for it. Can go ahead and add here demo one W for workflow here, and state type is you have a stateful optimized for high reliabilities, ideal for process businesses. Transitional data and stateless is optimized for low latencies, ideal for I would leave it for stateful, which is good, and then I'll go ahead and create. It was created successfully, as you can see, and our workflows here. Okay, then we're gonna click on the workflow we created, and we go to designer, and here we can add a trigger, as I mentioned at the beginning of the class, as a part of the actions, and that was the things I already mentioned to you. And if you have your own codes also, you can use that. As you can see, you can click here, and for now, let's go ahead and add a trigger. And as you can see, there is several of them in here that are ready to be selected for you. And those are comes with Microsoft Logic Apps triggers. As you can see, there's many of them here. And we're going to select the designer logic app that will send an email here for you. And we can choose this here. You. Okay. So the HTTP URL will be generated once we saved our Logic app or once we save our workflow here. So in the next step, we're gonna go ahead and add action, as I mentioned to you in earlier of the video. Every logic apps, it will be have action, and then actions, and then those are the triggers that needs to utilize these actions in here. And the specific trigger for this um, it's the URL we need to send an email uh, to our desired mail ID in here. So let's go ahead and search for Outlook. And then we're gonna see more. We're gonna look for send an email. An email here. Okay. And then we're gonna click on sign in. Okay, that's one things that we need to on your browser. As you can see, we have to disable the pop-up blockers in here. All right, all done. Sign in. And it's gonna give you either the the Gmail account, which I have through Microsoft, or add an account in here, which I do select my Gmail account, as you can see here, and it's gonna do the allowed, if you want the app accessing your Gmail's account, and if you can allow it or not. It says Logic App to East USA account. It's telling you the permissions here. Needs your permission to read emails and send emails and have full access, so you can accept that. And as you can see here, it tells you this is what is gonna come up to what are you gonna be specifying the parameters in here. And here you're gonna specify the email address to whom you're going to send this email, which is gonna be the same what I have. I'm gonna put my personal email. These are my test email that I utilized for Microsoft. Com. Just double check here. And you want to put a subject line here, a high mark. Um, this is test. Let's see here. And if you want to have anything um, in the body to add, and we're gonna go ahead and test the here. If you have any settings, codes, it's about, and And if you have any parameters, you can add importance. You can choose from normal, high, and low in here. And as you can see, and again, I don't have anything in the settings. You have other options here. Code view, it's right here. And let's go ahead and save our workflow. And successfully saved, as you can see. Okay, and we're gonna do some testing here. Okay, we're gonna click here on the workflow. This is the URL of the workflow we just created. So this is the URL. If you copy and paste here the URL, and an email will be sent to our email. Is the email that actually we created prior to that. If I go to my email, the one I have, as you can see, it says here, new app have access to your data, and this is the message um, that I have actually it's gonna tell me that there is a message came up in here, as you can see, based on what I have added from this URL. And after sending that message, and this is the message I have. Hi, this is a test code email, as you can see here. It did came up to a new because I have set up an authentication and authorization procedure, as you saw earlier. Prior to that, this is the earlier message, that the warning message in here, as you can see. But the main message of the Logic app trigger is right here, as you can see. It came up same as what I typed in the process of workflow, as you can see. So, guys, this is the way you create a workflow and the in Logic app, and set up triggers, and the power of the actions in here. As always, I appreciate your watching this video, and I appreciate your likes and subscribes as always. And if you have any questions, comment, please don't hesitate to add them in the comment and question area. Thank you, and